Hello YouTubers, this is Doug in the Dam. This is pipe cleaning video number 2. That is for your intensive weekly or monthly, depending how often you wish to do it. I often say 6 or 7 smokes or at least every 10 smokes. And that is usually done with alcohol. It's usually done with a grain alcohol. And if you don't want to use alcohol, I have heard one tip that you can do it with a Coca-Cola. Now that makes a lot of sense to me. I used to clean my old rusty nuts and bolts and greasy chains when I was a kid with Coca-Cola. It works very well. I could see that working very well on a pipe also. So if for whatever reason you do not wish to use alcohol, I'm sure you can find an alternative. Look out there. There are some. A few things you need, and that would be recommended, and that is pipe cleaners of a different sort. These are bristle pipe cleaners, and if you see in that, you will see little specks of red. I don't know if you can see there, but you will actually see there are little red specks in that. They are little plastic bits, so when you kind of squeeze it with your hand, it actually hurts a bit. So they're bristle. These are also pipe cleaners, also Big Ben. Maybe you can see the difference if I show you there. You can see the red specks here, and you don't see the red specks there. Okay, these are very, very good for alcohol cleaning. So that's a really good tip. Another thing that is really good for the serious alcohol cleaning are these Q-tips. Really, really good. My trusty tobacco ashtray. Also very, very handy. I'll show you another very handy thing for general cleaning, and that is hankies. Sorry to advertise, but these are tissues, hand tissues, I don't know what you call them, and they're with balsam. So they have a little bit of moisturizer on them, a very, very small amount, and they're actually so that your nose doesn't get too dried out when you're using these and you have a cold. They have a very, very bit of cream in the paper, and they're actually great for wiping the briar bowls, and they actually give a little bit of shine, and it's so minimal it's not going to sort of do any damage, but but it's actually, these are actually very good. So the hand tissues with the little bit of moisturizer in them to stop your nose chaffing are also very, very good little handy tip to have. And also, as I recommended before, your little piece of cloth, also very handy. So we're going to start straight away. On the alcohol, I use this, and I use a sort of cheap supermarket rum. I like the nice brown rum. Sometimes I use the white rum. Sometimes I use the 160 proof rum, and that is about 80% alcohol if you're here in the Eurozone. So that's double the strength of whiskey. However, that's a Suriname rum that I get here. It's often used for flambe or for making cocktails with. And the definitive thing on using alcohol is they say, if it's over 120 proof, it's really, really good. So this super strong alcohol is a little bit better. However, normal alcohol works good. Some people say, you can use Everclear, which is, really kind of industrial strength alcohol. That's very popular in the States. I'm sure that will work. It's hard to buy here in Europe. You can also use 100 proof alcohol, vodka, which you can find. But however, a lot of shops actually aren't, by government law, aren't allowed to sell alcohol exceeding sort of 70–80%. And that's ironic, because actually in Holland they're not supposed to sell alcohol exceeding, I think, 60%, which is 1.5 times, is 1.5 strength whiskey. Whiskey is 40%, so 60 would be half that again. But however, I can buy my Suriname rum here, which is 100 and whatever. Well, it's 182. It works out at 92%, 81%, 81%. I think alcohol it is. So there you go. However, I just use rum. Rum works very well. Some people use whiskey. Some people say vodka is better because it doesn't give any flavour. That would make sense. It's a white spirit. It has very little flavour. Gin, vodka has very little flavour. But personally, I like the flavour of rum, and it works very well with tobacco. That's why so many Navy tobaccos use rum. Whiskey works very well as well. As I said, popular bourbon in the States. So I would say to you, don't worry too much about what kind of alcohol you use. The main thing is you do not use things like methylated spirits. So if you use these kind of rubbing alcohols, or make sure you use what is called a non-denatured rubbing alcohol. Methylated spirits has something put in it to stop, by law, to stop the alcoholics buying it and mixing it with fruit juice and drinking it. So it has this very bitter taste, and it's actually put in on purpose. So you want non-denatured, so they denature it. So you want the not denatured industrial alcohols if you're going to use that, and you don't want to waste good whiskey on your pipes. However, I just say forget all of that. If you're in the States, buy Everclear, buy 100 proof vodka, or just buy vodka, whiskey, rum, cheap stuff in the supermarket, you know. And what's great is when you're cleaning your pipes, you can just have a little slug of that. So that's it, and that's the other advantage of it. I said, highly recommend my rum. I'm going to end here. That's the brief introduction. We've got a lot of work to do, so there will be a pipe cleaning video 2, part B, and that's going to happen just any minute from now.